So if you do have an immigration question, you have an immigration issue, your uncle has an immigration issue, your aunt has an immigration issue, grandma, whoever it is, now is the time to call 1-888-31-RADIO. That's 1-888-317-2346. Now, if you need to reach me in my offices, of course, our number is 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. You will be calling my customer service reps to schedule an appointment to come see me in my office at downtown Manhattan, New York, New York. Our consultation fee is only $120. On the air, it's free, but when you do call 1-800-LAW-LINK, you will be having a much more in-depth conversation with me. Now, if you can't make it down to my office, that's fine too. We can do telephone consultations. We do them all the time, from anywhere in the world. In North America, you call 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. Outside of the United States, you're going to call 212-227-3636. To get on the air, we still have a couple of lines open, 1-888-31-RADIO, 1-888-317-2346. We're going to go to line 1 right now. Hi, you're on the air.
Okay.
Hello?
Hold on.
Hi, you're on the air.
Mama.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, what's your question?
My employer sponsored me. I have an approved petition. Could you say how long or what is going on?
What you have an approved I-140 visa petition?
Yes.
Okay, what is the priority date on that approved I-140 visa petition?
August.
What is your priority date, do you know?
August 2007.
August 2007. You got a long wait, unfortunately, ahead of you. They're right now in June of 2001. The second thing you gotta worry about is, are you going to be eligible to adjust your status here? Because you need a priority date before April 30th, 2001 to be grandfathered in, or had something filed in the system before April 30th, 2001. Did you ever have anything filed?
No.
No. Really, what you've done is you've put yourself on a waiting list for a green card, and you're going to hope, you're going to keep your fingers crossed, you're going to pray to whoever you pray to, that our president, who I have a lot of confidence in still, is going to come through and change the immigration laws next year. If he does, you should be ahead of everybody else who's done nothing, because there's plenty of people who have done nothing. At least you're on a waiting list for a green card. But short of an immigration law change, the job sponsorship is not going to work out for you. Because right now the law says you have to go home at the conclusion of your case. You have a 10-year wait if you go home, and the conclusion of your case is not going to be for at least another 5 or 6 years down the line.
Right. So, because I understand they're passing some small laws over the past weeks, but nothing as yet, right?
You understand they passed some small laws over the past week?
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing that would have any effect on your job sponsorship whatsoever. What they've done is just extended some laws that may have that were set to expire. Like they have something called the Conrad 20 program, where states can, if you're a doctor, you can get a green card, 20 doctors per state, and some portions of the religious worker petitions were extended, but nothing when it comes to sponsorship as a housekeeper or a nanny. But I really do believe, I don't want you to be discouraged. I don't want you to be dejected. I don't want you to get off the air and say all hope is lost. I really, really believe the laws are going to change, and the fact that you did do a job sponsorship is going to put you in a much better position than when the laws do change. And the reason it's going to put you in a much better position is when the laws change, there's going to be, they say there's 12 million illegal aliens in the United States. I would bet you there's 30 million illegal aliens in the United States, at least 20, but I would bet closer to 30. Okay? And everyone in the studios here is shaking their head, yeah. Okay? And what's going to happen is when they do change the laws to grant people some sort of legalization and get green cards and everything, don't forget, everybody's still got to be fingerprinted. Everybody still has to have their applications reviewed. Everybody still has to be interviewed. And there is no way in the world that they can interview 30 million people or 20 million people or even 15 million people or even 12 million people in any reasonable amount of time. So they have to pick and choose who's going to go first and who's going to go last. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not inside the White House, and I'm not privy to anything that's going on behind the back doors, because all the immigration laws are all being negotiated behind back doors right now. It's not out in the news because they don't want people up in arms in favor or against, and they're just going to come out with something hopefully next year. And when they do, my belief is going to be is that they're going to, the people who are in the system like yourself, the people who are in the system like yourself who've been sponsored in a job, okay, those people should and most likely will get first crack at getting their green cards. Because I mean, they got to go. You know, you always hear on the news, we want to reward people who have been patiently waiting online for their green cards. Well, you've been patiently waiting online for a green card, so why shouldn't you go ahead of somebody who's done nothing? And I think that's what they are going to do. Because now, let's assume you didn't do this job sponsorship. Let's assume you didn't do the job sponsorship, and the way I think it's going to work out is that's the way it's going to work out. And let's assume there's 20 million she's talking to, I think the kid she's taking care of, but I'll talk to everybody else who's listening. But let's assume there's 20 million. I'm going to drop you and you can just listen on the radio, okay? But let's assume there's 20 million people who are waiting for their green cards. What's the most people that they can possibly interview in a year on top of their current workload? Can they interview 1 million people a year? Could they interview 2 million people a year? Could they interview 3 more million people a year? Let's assume they can interview 2 million more people a year on top of what immigration does already, and process 2 million more applications per year, which I don't think they can, but let's assume they can. And you say there's 20 million people. Somebody's going to wait 10 years for their green card. Let's say there's 30 million people. Somebody's going to wait 15 years for a green card. Let's say there's 30 million people and you can only process 1 million people a year. Somebody's going to wait 30 years for a green card. I mean, the waits now are nothing compared to what it's going to be when the law changes. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's going to wait 5, 10, 15, 20 years for a green card, but somebody's going to. And the best way, my opinion, now, listen, I could be wrong. As I said, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not privy to what's going on inside, but I can tell you that from past history, when they did try to change the immigration laws, the way that the laws were going to be written is that people who are in the system, people who have been filed for, are going to go ahead of people who have done nothing.